Sports Talk. Let's go. Hey, good morning and happy new year to everyone, man. It's 2023 and today is the first Sunday of 2023 in regards to football, man. And welcome to another edition of NFL Sunday Morning with me, Ryan Flowers, man. We're kicking things off just a couple minutes early. Got some things to do, but we got lots to talk about. But again, happy new year to everyone. Hope everyone is doing okay. We got tons of stuff to talk to. We'll talk about the Dallas Cowboys and that performance. Where do they stand now after that game against the Titans on Thursday night? Also, Derek Carr, is he being disrespected? Are the Raiders handling this situation with him very well? We'll talk about that. And then Tua, you got to sit down, man. Got to sit down. It was, 3 concussions that we know of this year. I'll share my thoughts on that. We got our Week 17 power rankings. We got the Week 17 predictions. And finally, to close out the show, we got the clutch picks of the week. So, without further ado, man, what I need you guys to do is sit back and relax and enjoy the show. This is Clutch Sports Talk, NFL Sunday Morning with me, Ryan Flowers. Let's go. And good morning, and hopefully everyone is awake. Some of you may be a little bit hungover, which is fine. That's all right. Hey, it happens. It's the new year. We had to bring things in right last night, but hey, it's another Sunday morning. We get to do this all over again. And happy new year to everyone out there who's watching the show or who'll be watching the show later on. So it's all good. But hey, my name is Ryan Flowers, a.k.a. Clutch Sports Talk in the house. And this is NFL Sunday Morning, bringing you guys the latest and greatest and updates on NFL news around the league, right? So, but let me know what, like I said, we got lots to talk about, but I do want to kind of open up with, my future and what's going to happen in 2023. Like, look, we're always looking to grow the show. Make sure if you haven't subscribed to my YouTube channel already, if you're watching on YouTube, make sure you do that. Also, head on over to The Grid. The Grid is a, what's the best way to describe The Grid? The Grid is a network of other great sports media content creators putting together some of the best stuff that you can see. Make sure you go there and subscribe to that channel as well. But 2023 hopefully will bring a lot of fruitful and big expectations that we can fulfill, even including myself. So again, happy new year to everyone out there. So that's it, man. That's my statement for 2023. But first things first, man, let's get into the Dallas Cowboys, as we should, because I'm a Cowboys fan, right? And I was at the barbershop the other day, and I was listening to a bunch of guys talk about Dallas Cowboys and their fans. And, everything that they said about the Dallas Cowboys fans is, some of it is true, I will say. But me, myself, I'm pretty biased. I'm not biased. I'm unbiased. I keep it pretty real. And, the subject came up. Are they contenders? Are they pretenders, right? They won their 12th game, which is something they've done back-to-back, which hasn't happened quite frequently. And, I want to give credit to Mike McCarthy. If your team has 12 wins back-to-back seasons, that's a good thing. That's a good thing. And sometimes Cowboys fans, we kind of look past that because I think now we're at the point where we just don't want to see 12 win seasons. We want to see our teams hoisting that Lombardi trophy at the end of the year, like so many other teams have done since 1996, that was the last time the Dallas Cowboys actually won a Super Bowl. So that's what we're ready for. We're yearning to. I mean, I can tell you right now, man. I have people's numbers and names ready to go if the Dallas Cowboys ever win a Super Bowl in my lifetime. That's how much it means to me. I might even just break down and cry if they win in the Super Bowl. That's how much the Dallas Cowboys mean to me. But nonetheless, the subject that came up in the barbershop was, are the Cowboys real? Are they real? Right now, it was a lackluster type of performance against the Tennessee Titans. Now, Tennessee Titans didn't have Ryan Tannehill. They bypassed Malik Willis. I think it's over for him, and they went ahead and signed Joshua Dobbs off the practice squad. Guy was in the house building for 8 days. He looked pretty decent for a guy that hasn't really played football in a long time. They were missing several key starters, including Derek Henry. And the Cowboys still kind of managed to kind of skate by. Now they won the game. I don't think there was any doubt that they were going to lose the game, but I think a lot of people were expecting, including the media and analysts, they expected the Cowboys to come out and dominate because this team was missing like 8 or 9 starters, right? And I know we were missing Tony Pollard. We have some injuries on the offensive line. The defense hasn't really looked great, and which I'm going to talk about in just a second. But overall, it was a very, but again, a win is a win is a win in the National Football League. So they get the dub. They improve to what, 12-4, 12-3, 12-4, 12-4. But the question was asked, well, can you believe in them? And of course, most non-Cowboy fans will say, no, you can't, because they will fold like a cheap lawn chair that you pick up from Walmart. And I kind of, here's the thing. I opened up with saying, this 12 wins is really good for the team, right? Got some people in the comments. Hey, good morning, Barry, my brother. Happy New Year to you from the All Even podcast. Yeah, he says getting early rising. Let's get it. Yeah, man. You know what? Like, I was out drinking a little bit. Doesn't matter. I got to get out here and give. If I'm able to do the show, I'm gonna do the show, and I'm able, so I got up early. But anyway, the Cowboys to me right now are in a bit of a situation. The offense is clicking for the most part. Some misfires last, Thursday night, a little bit, some miscues. Dak was pretty much in control. He had 3 turnovers. One of them was really on him. I mean, really wasn't on him. The first interception. Dalton Schultz, you got to come down with that. The fumble on the snap, he was trying to get out early. Usually when that happens, it's always the quarterback's fault. I mean, that's how I was taught. That's how I coach it. And then the final pick, he threw it behind him. And we know Dak accuracy is a little inconsistent. So am I really worried about yes, I am. I'm worried about the turnovers, but I would say more concerning to me is that defense. They are a shell of themselves. It's funny because in the beginning of the season when Dak went out, the defense was the anchor. The defense kept everything together, right? They were an elite defense. Now they're getting sliced up by 6-year veterans who haven't played, right? Okay, and I'm talking about Joshua Dobbs or John, whatever his name is. I wasn't saying like he was Tom Brady marching down the field, but what if that is Tom Brady? What if that is Jalen Hurts? Or who's another elite quarterback right now out there? I mean, in the playoffs that they may see. So that's an issue. I know they have some injuries in the secondary, but that pass rush is not formidable at all anymore. Now people keep saying, "Oh, the pressures." I understand that, but sometimes, man, you got to get home. They've only racked up about, I want to say, 1 or 2 sacks in like 3 or 4 games. That's not good, man. Micah Parsons was on a trajectory to like have 1 million sacks. Where's he been? Now he's battling some injuries. You saw he had his right hand and left hand in a cast. Like, where did that come from? I think the guy is just fatigued. We definitely miss LVE for sure. Obviously Anthony Brown is out for the year. Deron Bland looking really good for that rookie cornerback we got from Fresno State. But overall, the pass rush is going to have to be there. Teams are going to run the football on us. We're going to have to sell out. But when we do get in those passing situations, can we get after the quarterback? And the answer right now is no. And that's the most concerning part for me, is that these guys can't rush the quarterback. So what do you do if you're Dan Quinn, right? I mean, he's been living on easy street for the most part, but now this last couple weeks or so, he's starting to get some critical feedback. Now, do you send more blitzes? What do you do to create more pressure, right? Micah Parsons, I feel like Micah Parsons is wearing down. And he's wearing down in a very crucial part of the season. So what do we do? Well, because the offense is putting up 30+ points a game. That's good. They're doing what they're supposed to be. Now there's some miscues here and there, but now I will say the defense did a good job of bailing the offense out a little bit Thursday night. But this Tennessee Titans, and they didn't even play half of their starters, more than half of their starters. So, but they got the job done. they got the job done. So it is what it is. Cowboys fans, don't be delusional. This team, I think I said it last week. The Cowboys are just one of those weird teams. They can beat everyone, but they'll lose to anyone. So that's where you're at, is if you're a Cowboys fan. Remember, the Cowboys can beat everyone, but they can lose to anyone. So, and at parts of that game on Thursday night, you're going into halftime and you're like, why is this game so close? Are the Cowboys going to blow this game? They ended up turning it on, pulling away kind of late in the third quarter, and they wrapped it up. So, but to answer the question, are the Cowboys contenders? I think they are. Hopefully they can get over the hump, but those are my concerns on defense. So it is what it is. So take it, leave it. It is what it is. Cowboy Nation, let me know what you guys think in the comment section. And we're gonna press. We're gonna press. So all right, moving on. Some other news. We got Derek Carr being benched. He will not be joining the team the last two games. The Niners are taking on the Raiders. The Raiders taking on the Niners today here in Las Vegas at Allegiant Stadium. But Derek Carr benched for Jason Stidham, a guy who has New England ties. Obviously, he was drafted by the Patriots, where Josh McDaniels was recently. And now he'll be the starter for the last 2 weeks of the season. And Raider fans, man, like I tell you what, man, Raider fans are like Cowboys fans in a sense too, because they pour a lot on the quarterback. But here's the thing you got to know about Derek Carr, man. The guy deserves your respect. It's been a lot of bullshit this guy's had to deal with since joining the league. And he joined an organization that really is always in some type of turbulence. Now, is he perfect? No, he's not. He's not perfect, right? But what quarterback is perfect? But for an organization that has a terrible ass defense, you've had like 4 or 5 coaches in his career there, right? So what does that mean, right? New schemes, new strategy. They go out and add Devontae Adams, which was a really good get, because Devontae Adams is definitely worth the trade and the money that they're paying him. But it's not all on Derek Carr, man, at the end of the day. I know Raider Nation, you guys can't stand this guy. You think it's his fault. Everything that happens, if there's a touchdown that happens, oh, it's Derek Carr. Well, he don't play defense, man. Your defense sucks. Now, do you have some players that are shelling themselves? Darren Waller, like, what the hell happened to Darren Waller, man? Arguably, about 2 years ago, this guy was one of the top 3 tight ends in all National Football League. Now, he's more interested in making rap videos, So, Josh Jacobs, who's been pretty sublime his career. Now he's having a breakout year this year, but the Raiders are probably going to move off of him too, which I probably would too, because you can go and get a running back in the draft to do what he does, obviously. And I'm speaking from experience, because the Cowboys paid a lot of money to Ezekiel Elliott, and he's not even the guy that we paid, right? But Derek Carr, look, I feel really good for him. I know, his family's probably looking at, well, damn, man, we've been Raiders this whole time. We moved to Vegas. Now we're here. Look, this guy will have a market for sure. There's going to be at least 5, 6, 7 teams maybe that will be beckoning him. Literally, you got the Jets. They need a quarterback. The Patriots probably need a quarterback. Who else is out there? Maybe the Steelers, right? Maybe the Giants, the Commanders. That's 4 or 5, right? Excuse me. Hey, Happy New Year, Ben. I hope you're doing well, man. Who else is out there? The Dolphins, perhaps, which I'm going to talk about too here in just a second, right? So there's definitely a market for Derek Carr. He's not a shit quarterback. He's a very stable quarterback, right? He's a good leader. He's not going to be trying to get with teammates' moms, et cetera, right? A la Zach Wilson. So the Raider Nation, you guys had a good thing, right? And you guys are taking him for advantage. You're taking advantage of the situation, and you're not respecting him. Same thing with Dallas fans, right? Dak Prescott does get a lot of blowback, but honestly, man, Cooper Rush is not the answer. He's a good backup. All right, so we'll see what the Raiders are going to do the next 2 weeks. They got a big one today. If they want to kind of keep their playoff hopes alive, they need a lot of help now, obviously, at 6-9. But we'll see. But, look, we all kind of knew this was coming at some point. If the Raiders did not have a good season, Derek Carr was going to be gone because the Josh McDaniels, he wants to probably bring in his own people at the end of the day. I'm excited for Derek Carr. I want to see him go to a winning team for sure, because he deserves that, right? I'm not a Raider fan, but I like Derek Carr. A lot of things that I read and heard about him, he's a good guy. He's a good guy. We got some comments in here. Ben Cornett from the Ben Zone. Make sure you check him out. Hope you're feeling all right, man. I know you were a little bit under the weather, but he says Texans, Jets, Seahawks, Panthers, Commanders are the most likely. Yeah, I mean, I forgot about the Panthers, right? If they want to move off Sam Darnold, even though they paid him, Seahawks, I don't know. I think Geno Smith has earned the right for another year or two there, right? Because he's my comeback player of the year. So I think Seattle's probably pretty good. Because they don't have to pay Geno Smith a lot. They can go out and do some other things. Because Derek Carr's going to want a little bit more cash. But you never know. Texans, if I'm him, I wouldn't probably go there. They're just not ready to win now. I think Derek Carr wants to go to a winner. And right now, the Jets are built to win right now. They're just missing a quarterback. Commanders, I don't know. They're like a C+ team. To me, the best fit would be the Jets just because they're ready to go. They're ready to go right now. They got young talent on offense. They got really good talent on defense. The coaching, so-so. So we'll have to wait and see. But Raider Nation, you guys are going to miss this guy. You won't have anyone to blame anymore, next year because he won't be here. And the crazy thing is that what happens to Devontae Adams? And I know he's locked in there now, but is he going to be? I'm pretty sure he's a consummate professional. Excuse me. But he came to the Raiders to play with his former teammate. Now his teammate's not even in the picture. Think about your own personal self. Like, how would you feel mentally? You go to a job because your friend's there. You guys are working well together. Maybe everything isn't going well, obviously, right? But that's your boy or that's your girl, whatever. And then now he's gone. And now you're stuck there. Now, I know he's getting paid millions of dollars to do a job. Again, I think he's a professional. But still, the psyche of all that is it's interesting. So we'll have to wait and see what happens to the Raiders. And then, a lot of people want Josh McDaniels' head too. But listen, Raider Nation, you guys can't even afford this. I've never heard that a team cannot afford to fire a coach. So we'll have to wait and see. Like I said, this is what Derek Carr has to deal with. This organization has been mismanaged for a long time. Hey, what's up, Patrick? Good morning to you. Happy New Year, my friend. It's crazy that Derek Carr gets so much hate when he's had to deal with. So I mean, look, you had John Gruden last year with all the racist comments and misogynistic stuff that was going on there. I mean, the Mike Mayock era, who was the GM there, the draft class. I mean, that 2021 or 2020 draft, they're not even on the team anymore. So we'll have to wait and see. But moving on, we're going to talk about Tua for just a little bit. Listen, I'm going to keep it short and sweet with Tua. I know he's a football player, but, man, if you care anything about your life, man, you're going to have to sit down, bro. I know football is a rough sport, and these guys are warriors and they're gladiators, but you're going to have to sit down, bro, because this is getting out of hand. I mean, this is his third concussion that we know of, right? That we know as the public. If I'm his family, I got to sit him down and say, listen, man, it ain't worth it, bro. It ain't worth it because you start collecting those concussions, it starts to wear on you. And he's a young guy. He's a young guy. Just to have one concussion is serious, but to have three that we know of, in the same season. This is not 1998, 1980 football, man. So I get it. Some people might say I'm a punk for saying that or I'm weak. Listen, man, look, what did Marshawn Lynch tell everyone? There's two things you got to take care of, man. Your mentals and your bread, right? You got to take care of your mentals because right now, yes, you're in the moment. You want to play. That's what most quarterbacks and competitors want to do. But you got to think about the future, man. I don't know if he's got a family. I think he has a girlfriend. I don't know if he wants to start. I don't know all that. But if he wants to and he wants to have any type of life after football, you got to slow down, man. I really feel for the kid. He was having a great season. Obviously, now they've lost their last 4 games. They're sliding a little bit. But in the end, your health is way more important than any wins or losses in the National Football League. Because at the end of the day, we don't know what the side effects are going to be later on down the line for him. We've seen a lot of these NFL players who suffer concussions. They're going ahead and they're eating their gun. Pow! That's not something you want to see or even hear about. So Tua, my prayers go out to you, man. I wish him the best. I know he wants to play, but it's getting scary, man. I mean, he's gotten 3 concussions already that we know of in one season. In one season, man. I mean, Steve Young had like 3 over a course of time. He ended up retiring. Guys like Troy Aikman, he ended up retiring. Those concussions, dude, I've had a couple concussions in my lifetime. They're no fun. They're no fun, man. So I can only imagine what the guy is going through. Patrick says Miami has failed him, and the obvious is in broad. Yeah, I mean, listen. From an organizational standpoint, yes. I think it's everyone's to blame. Obviously, I know the player won't have the self-control. He's gonna always want to play. That's when the Dolphins kind of have to like step in. But I get it from their perspective too. What if I'm Tua? What I need him to do is to go talk to doctors, and not doctors that are licensed or have any skin in the game in regards to the National Football League. He needs to go out and seek unbiased opinions from doctors that have nothing to do with the National Football League. That's part of the problem. Okay. If I'm his family, that's what I'm doing, because you got to talk to people who don't care if you play. They don't really care, because there's no skin off their shirt, or shirt off their skin, right? So if I'm him, that's what I need to do. The Dolphins, it's a weird situation, but if I'm them, I would probably definitely be in the quarterback market too. And a guy like Derek Carr, who's going to be sitting out there, can still take your team to where, I mean, listen, we were talking about them being one of the early Super Bowl contenders, the way they started with Tua. So Tua, man, get yourself right, man. And we hope to see you on the field, but it's got to be in the right circumstances and situations. So my prayers and thoughts go out to him and his family. I mean, I wish him the best. I wish him the best, but I think he needs to chill, right? As the kids would say, Daddy, chill. Tua, chill. I don't know why I tried to pull that out, but I did. All right, man, let's get rolling into the power rankings of week 17. Listen, we got some changes, some big changes, right? Bengals moved up to the number 1 spot. They got a big Monday night game against the Buffalo Bills, man. I'm looking forward to this game. It's going to be one of the better Monday night football games that I've seen, hopefully. But I got them at number 1. I mean, this team, they struggled a little bit last week, but they pulled it off. They got the dub, which, okay. But I like the quarterback play. I like the defense in the back end. So I got them at number 1. They're hitting the right stride in the right moment, right? Chiefs looking pretty good. Again, Patrick Mahomes, Andy Reid, no better combination than that. Mahomes probably still going to be the MVP. Again, rightfully so, but Justin Jefferson should probably be the MVP. But it's a quarterback award. So we'll leave it at that. Got the Chiefs at number 2. Eagles sliding to number 3. They lost to the Cowboys Christmas Eve. Jalen Hurts still is questionable. Might not even play. That defense got torched by the Cowboys. So, and then they lost Lane Johnson for the rest of the season. So that's a significant loss so late in the season. So they're still a formidable team, of course. They can score on you. They can do a lot of things. They're still talented, of course. But I got them sliding just a little bit to 3. But that can change. We got one more week for the power rankings next week, but we'll see how it goes. Niners moving up. I know a lot of the power rankings have the Niners at number 1 that I've read. I'm not quite sure to put them there because the quarterback. Brock Purdy now, he's undefeated. There's more tape on him. When they start playing some more formidable teams when we get into the playoffs, then I'll be a believer. I mean, I've always believed in the Niners for the most part because of their structure, the way they play football. They run the ball and they play good defense. So even despite some of these injuries, significant injuries that they've had, right? They're still being able to manage. So today they got to come into Las Vegas and beat the Raiders. So I'm pretty confident in that, but we'll see what happens. But I got them at number 4 and steadily rising for sure. Steadily rising. Buffalo Bills, they've dropped. Again, they got a big one on the road Monday. I just think that Josh Allen is their whole being. Now, he does have a propensity of making some really bonehead mistakes late in games. And I think that's what's going to hold them back. And people don't even talk about Josh Allen like that. They think this guy is the next coming of Tom Brady or whatever. But this guy does bonehead stuff too. So let's keep it real. Okay. Not all these quarterbacks are just like perfect. So when you get on the Derek Carrs, you get on the Dak Prescotts, things of that nature, keep in mind Josh Allen does stupid stuff too. Okay. But I got the Bills at number 5. Rolling up the sixth spot, we got the Dallas Cowboys. I don't think they do well when they're like the favorite. So I'm going to keep them right where they're at. Defense is not looking good at all. Offense is clicking on all cylinders, but that defense, man, and at some point you're going to need your defense in the playoffs. And I'm kind of really concerned about the defense, which I talked about in the first segment of the show. So I got them at number 6. The Vikings, they're underdogs. They got like 13 wins and they're underdogs today in Green Bay. This tells you everything you need to know about the Minnesota Vikings, right? And no one cares about their record. That's the crazy thing about that. No one cares about their record because we all believe that they're kind of fraudulent, but I have them right where they are. You got the Chargers. They're moving up. Brandon Staley hasn't screwed it up yet, but it's coming. Trust me, it's coming. But the Chargers playing good football. They got a big one today against the Rams, the Battle of LA. We'll talk about that in just a second. Jacksonville Jaguars moving up. They got a big one too next week. Against the Titans. That's going to be basically to get into the playoffs for that division. So who would have thought the Jacksonville Jaguars would be in contention? Now, I always thought this team had talent. Trevor Lawrence has taken another step in the positive to being a quarterback in this league. And year number 2 under Doug Peterson, they're going to be vying for a division championship. So good for them. And the Packers, I got them at 10. They fought back. They kind of figured out Christian Watson is doing his thing now, but will it be enough? And they've kind of figured out their running game again between Aaron Jones and Dillon. So good for them. But those are the power rankings for week 10. Week 10. Week 17, man. Love them, like them, or leave them. All right, quickly, let's get into some of these predictions here. We got the Bears on the road taking on the Lions. The Lions coming off of a game, I would say a letdown, right? They've won a couple games in a row, then they lose last week. But now they're back at home against a Bears team with really all they got is Justin Fields. I like the Lions to win this game pretty much straight up. They they want to keep their playoff hopes alive. They're going to have to win this game. So I like the the Lions at home. We got the Carolina Panthers and Tampa Bay Buccaneers. This is a big one too. Panthers, you win the last 2 games, you make the playoffs, and you bump out Tampa Bay. You beat Tom Brady. So it starts today. They got to win out starting today. This one's going to be interesting because this could possibly be a matchup for the Dallas Cowboys in the playoffs when the playoffs start in a couple weeks. But you know what? I just don't see the Tampa Bay Buccaneers losing at home to the Carolina Panthers. I just don't see that. If this game was in Charlotte, I would have probably went with the Panthers. But I think the Bucs will get it done at home. All right, Denver Broncos and Kansas City Chiefs. I don't even think America. I think you guys already know who's going to win this game. Chiefs all the way. All right, Colts taking on the Giants. I think this one's pretty simple to call too. We're gonna go with the Giants. We're gonna go with the Giants to win this one. Colts, their season's coming to an end. Pretty much, they just need to be put down to sleep. All right, Jacksonville Jaguars taking on the Titans. I think this one will be an interesting one. This division is really weird, man. Like in the fact that a lot of teams they beat up on each other in this division. So the Texans, everyone knows now. I know their record is what they've only won 1 game. But this is not an easy out here, right? This is not an easy out. Expect this game to be very close because that's how all the Texan games have been. I mean, so you gotta be mindful of that. But I think the Jacksonville Jaguars, they want to win this division. They want to get into that playoff type of game next week. You got to win this game today. So I feel like they're going to do all they need to do. They'll get the win, but it'll be close. Arizona Cardinals taking on the Falcons. Falcons, you got to win this game. No Kyler Murray. Colt McCoy's not playing. I don't know who's starting for Arizona Cardinals. You got to win this game at home, Falcons. Come on. Browns and Commanders. I like the Commanders. They're still looking to try to fight for the playoffs. Deshaun Watson really, I know he's missed a lot of time. But I think the Commanders are going to get the job done. Carson Wentz, I believe, is the starting quarterback today, but he'll get benched, and Tyler Heineke will get back in there. But I like the Commanders to win this game. Dolphins taking on the Patriots. Obviously, no Tua. Um, Teddy Bridgewater gets the start. This is a key one, man. Will the Dolphins drop 5 in a row? My answer is no. I think they'll win this game today. They'll get the job done, and they'll head up to New England and get the dub there. All right, Jets and Seahawks. This is a big one. I like the Seahawks just because they're at home, and it's tough to play in that environment. Pretty simple. Niners and Raiders. Do I need to say any more? Niners all the way. Rams and Chargers. Got to go with the Chargers, man. Rams, they're depleted. Chargers are looking to still make the playoffs, and they're doing a good job right now. Vikings and Packers. This is an interesting one for me. Really not. I'm going to go with the Green Bay Packers to win this game. I feel like this team has grown since the last time they played the Vikings, week 1 or week 2. Vikings defense sucks. So I'm going to go with the Packers to win this one. Saints and Eagles. I would like to see the Eagles lose, but they probably won't. I think even though Jalen Hurts is not going to play probably, Gardner Minshew is still good enough to beat the Saints, and I'll take the Eagles to win that game. Baltimore taking on the Pittsburgh Steelers. Lamar Jackson's still not playing. Tyler Huntley gets to start, but this is a very bitter game. But I'll take the Ravens at home to win this game. It'll be a close one, but I got them winning. And finally, the Monday night game, the big one, the Buffalo Bills taking on the Bengals. Got to go with the Bengals because they're home. This is going to be a good one, so you want to pull up and watch this one. So we're good to go from there. All right. Before I get out of here, I went 3-1 last week. Pretty good. So, but this week I got the Packers, Bengals, Bucks, and Niners to win. Hopefully I can sweep the deck and improve, and we'll be good to go. All right. That's all I got. So that's it, man. That's the first show of the new year. We're going to keep rolling. We got next week is the end of the regular season. But we'll keep this thing going into the playoffs, man. But hey, hope you guys get your coffee, get ready to go, get sobered up, and make sure you guys enjoy these games today. But other than that, man, I'll see you guys next week, Sunday morning, back on schedule and on time as usual. But that's all I got, man. So happy New Year to everybody. Hope you guys enjoy your day with your family and friends, and just be blessed. And we'll see you guys on the next show. So, hey, this is NFL Sunday Morning with me, Ryan Flowers. Never settle till the work is done. We'll see you guys later. Peace.